Okay, good morning, room 32. We are moving on to lesson 2, and our learning target for today is to use a number line to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes within the hour. And again, we're working on our 5 times tables, so we will use what we know about that and use it on our number line today. So in front of you, you should have your whiteboards ready, and you need to have your ruler out. So if you don't have your ruler out, get that out right now. And we are going to practice making a number line together to help us tell time. And I want you to be thinking about our learning target today, because at the end of our math lesson, I'm going to have you repeat to me what our learning target was today. Okay. Here is my whiteboard. This morning we're going to start by using our ruler, and we're going to make a number line counting by 5s all the way up to 60. So here's my ruler, and like we practiced yesterday, we're not using the inches, and you can see right here it says inches. Today we're using our centimeters, so they're smaller, they're close together, and they look like this. So here is my ruler, and I'm going to draw a 12 centimeter number line, starting at 0 and tracing all the way down to 12. Let me zoom in so you can see that. There we go. Here's my 12 centimeter number line. At the ends of each number line, I like to make little arrows. So your number line's complete, and we're going to make tick marks along each centimeter, starting with our 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's my 12 centimeter number line, and now I need to label it by 5-minute intervals. Here we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. They're quite close together, but that's okay. 45, 50, 55, 60. So now we know that 5 times 12 is 60. I'll zoom a little bit more so you can see that. Just like on our first number line that we did yesterday, we're showing that the time is continuous. So that's why we have an arrow this way and an arrow going the other side of our number line to show that time is continuing. How many minutes do we have labeled on our number line? Well, we have 60 minutes. We know there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. I'm going to write that up here so I remember that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. Below this tick mark, I'm going to add a 0. Below our 0 tick mark, I want you to write 1 p.m. And right at the 60-minute tick mark, I want you right underneath to write 2 p.m. So we're going to use this number line to plot some parts of our day so we can figure out how much time each of those parts take. So let's say we end lunch at 1:10 p.m. We know that time, 1:10 p.m., is right in between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. It's in between it somewhere. So if this is 1 p.m., we need to find that number, that time on our number line by skip counting by 5s until we reach 1:10 p.m. So if this 0 mark is 1 p.m., we know 1:05, 1:10. So this right here is when our lunch ends, at 1:10 p.m. So I'm just going to put an L so I know that's when our lunch ends. I want to label also on our number line a spot that tells us when we end our clustering groups. Well, we know we end clustering groups every day at 1:50 p.m. So I'm going to use my number line and I'm going to find the time that shows 1:50 p.m. using my 5-minute intervals. So remember 1 o'clock starts on the 0 and I go 1:05, 1:10, 1:15, 1:20, 1:25, 1:30, 1:35, 1:40, 1:45, 1:50. This is when clustering ends, so I'm going to put a C to help me remember that's when clustering ends. Because we know that 1:50 down here is right in between 1:10 and 2 p.m. We're going to see if we can plot one more time on our number line. Let's say we want to find 1:30 p.m. We just have to count by fives on our centimeter 5-minute interval number line, starting at the 0 for 1 p.m. all the way until we reach 1:30. So let's try that. So 1 p.m., 1:05, 1:10, 1:15, 1:20, 1:25, 1:30. And we've just plotted 1:30 right here. So now we've plotted 1:10 when lunch ends, 1:50 when clustering ends, and then just 1:30, which is right in between those two. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is erase your whiteboards. And on your desk already, you should have a clock template. And we're going to use these clock templates to help us plot some different times. Our clock template looks like this. Zoom out so you can see it. One more. There we go. So here's our clock face, and we have no hands on our clock face. We have no hour hand and we have no minute hand. So our job right now is to get those on our paper and be able to plot some 5-minute intervals with our clock hands. So we've counted by fives yesterday to plot minutes on a number line, and we're going to do the same on a clock. How many 5-minute intervals show 15 minutes on a clock? Well, like we practiced yesterday, I'm going to kind of label the outside of my first clock to help me remember the minute hands. I'm going to use blue so you can see it. So we start at the 1, and our minute is 5. 2 is 10. Label with me right now. 3 is 15. 4 is 20. 5 is 25. 6 is 30 minutes. 35 minutes. 40 minutes. 45 minutes. 50 minutes. 55 minutes. And then 60 minutes, which looks like our 0 o'clock, our O clock. So again, my first question was, how many 5-minute intervals show 15 minutes on a clock? Well, if we are starting here, we go 1, 2, 3. 3 5-minute intervals show 15 minutes because we started at 0 or our 12 and we went over 1, 2, 3 times. Just like we started on our number line at the 0 and we skip counted 5, 10, 15. It's exactly the same. So on our template right now, we are going to, on our clock template, we're going to plot some times. So on this clock template right here, we are going to plot the time that says when we go to lunch today. And it's an early day on Wednesday, so we are going to lunch at 12:05. So first we should think about the hour. Well, if the hour is 12, then my shorthand, remember hour is the shorthand, that is pointing at the 12. If we're going to lunch today at 12:05, does that mean I'm going to point my minute hand at the 5? No. I'm going to point my minute hand at the 1 because that's representing the minutes, and the 1 is representing 5 minutes. Right next to this, I'm going to write 12:05 because that's when we go to lunch today. Right underneath, we're going to do one more plotting, and then you guys will be able to start your problem set today. Here's our clock, and your challenge right now is to plot when we get out of school today. And we get out of school today because it's conference week at 12:50. So we're going to draw our hour hand and our minute hand on our clock to show 12:50. Well, let's start with the hour. We know the hour is 12. So I'm going to point my shorthand or my hour hand at 12. And then I'm going to skip count by 5s to find where 50 is in minutes on our clocks. So I start with 0 and I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Well, here's 50. So my minute hand is pointing to 50. There we go. We go to lunch at 12:05. We get out of school at 12:50, and you can see both of those times here on our clocks. Okay, friends, you should be just about ready for your problem set. Your problem set is the same learning target as our YouTube practice today. So when you go to your problem set, you will use the number line to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes within the hour. Feel free to use your multiplication charts to support you with your 5-minute intervals. And we are doing lesson 2 problem set today. You will have 10 minutes by yourself or with a partner to practice your problem set. So good luck.